Yo, what's up you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to give you guys an update on the market by taking a look at the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones Gold and the S&P 500 from a technical and a fundamental perspective. Now, all the questions that I have received I'm going to answer at the end of the video. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into the information. Now, firstly, we know we had the advanced GDP data that got released today, the gross domestic product, which is released Q means quarter over quarter that we came through, and we can see that it came through positive. We have the flash PMI that came through positive, flash services PMI came through positive. Jerome Powell came out and he was again saying that we are in a bit of a problem, but that does not mean that we can deter away from the fact that we're not going to hike the interest rates, and we're going to see the Fed still come through with that. Everything at the moment, again, like I said before, points out to a positive dollar index. And if you look at the last breakdown that I did, we anticipated the market to complete the information and then continue higher to hit that previous level of resistance. That is exactly what the market had done. I should be working for CNBC, but unfortunately I'm not popular enough to be going there, but I'm probably educated enough to go and do that. But you can see that the market went exactly as anticipated. Now, can we understand what's going to happen next? Exactly. First things first, we're going to look at the article from CNBC. It says here, stock futures slide with the NASDAQ set to fall into deeper correction territory. Now, you're probably thinking, why is the NASDAQ falling when the dollar index is doing good? Well, if you did not know, now you know. The dollar index has got a negative correlation with the stock market. So as the dollar index increases in value, there is a high possibility that the stock market will continue to decline lower. But we are also in earnings season, and we got a lot of companies like Microsoft and Alphabet, which is also known as Google, reporting negative jobs report, which impacts the NASDAQ 100%. Why? Because these companies, they weigh a lot on the NASDAQ 100 there as well. Next up, also from CNBC, stock futures slide with NASDAQ to fall into deeper correction territory. I think I'm reading the same thing, but what they are talking about, the market at the moment is sitting at a level where we can potentially expect a correction. And that is exactly why I called the buy in the free Telegram group. If you're not in there, make sure that you check out the pinned link to the comment to join the group. And please don't sit there like you came late for class and now you're going to sit in the corner. Rek your mod. That's what you need to do. So the first thing I do want to speak about is the dollar index. Just to clear the charts very quickly, what we have is a breaking of the neckline instead of a completion of the W formation. You can see the market printed an information. After an information, you expect to pull back to the neckline. The market had broken above the neckline. Now all of that support is once again turned resistance. Now what we have over here, let me just zoom in for you guys very quickly. We had a market that had broken below support, right? We had this level of support over here that got broken. The market went back, tested it as resistance at all. Market broke above resistance. What we got over here is we got two shoulders that had been printed here. It's called an equal high. Market is set to pull back to print what's known as an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Now, an inverted head and shoulders pattern is considered a bullish pattern from a technical perspective. Now, we can obviously see the market is trading at some resistant structure. I do expect a pullback in the market and then a continuation higher for the market to go and test that level that I was referring to on Saturday or Sunday, and in doing so will the market also print the inverted head and shoulders pattern there as well. Next up, we've got the NASDAQ 100, and when they're referring to the correction territory, as we can see, the NASDAQ is currently testing previous support. Now, like I said before, there is a pullback expected. Now, you've probably seen the gap in the market. The gap opened so aggressively because of the negative earnings report that was put out by companies that weighs that's got a big chunk of what they weigh on the NASDAQ. And we saw the market open with a gap. The market did not just open with the gap. The market also printed broke below support. Once support gets broken, it becomes resistance. Also have a clear impulse. So after an impulse, you expect a correction, and the best way to measure that correction is by taking your Fibonacci from the high to the low of the massive impulse, and you can see we have the confluence of the 61.8 that's lining up perfectly with the previous level of support that is now turned resistance. Now the best way to approach this is quite simple. We do expect a pullback once again to this previous level of support that got broken, that is once resistance. The market would then also fill in the gap, but from where I'm sitting, this is the next best thing for the NASDAQ, and then from there you can once again monitor the price action and see exactly what we could potentially see the next step to be. The same thing apply for the Dow Jones, currently in a buy, and this buy comes from a market that is currently sitting at support, also pullback territory. On the higher, you can see here the market printed in information. After an information, you expect a pullback to the neckline, which is exactly where I've set my take profit in the market. So once again, the market broke below this level of support over here, and once support gets broken, it becomes resistance. Resistance is also the neckline of the information, so I do expect a pullback to the neckline, and that is why my 1 to 3 risk reward is lining up perfectly with that structure. Next up, we've got gold. Now gold, firstly, we can see over here had not moved exactly to where I anticipated to go. I did expect the market to move from that level to come and hit this level, but the market actually came there with that drop in that spike that we had in there, and basically to hit that level of resistance that is now turned support. Again, I don't trade consolidation markets, so what I would say for you guys that like to trade this type of market is to wait for a clear breaker structure. Although I do expect gold, the DXY in the long term to be bullish, and because there's a negative correlation between the dollar index and gold, I do expect gold to weaken first before seeing any part of developments. But we do have the problem, the war that's currently going on, that also impacts the precious metals. Now again, like you guys know, we do not trade consolidation markets, so I would say the best way, again, we wait for a clear break, and the reason why I'm not going to predict or try to forecast this market based off a positive dollar is because the correlation between gold and the dollar index hasn't been that strong since the kickoff of all of the stuff that's been going on. Next up, we've got the S&P 500, also due for this correction. We also had this market broke below support, and once support gets broken, it becomes resistance. I also got this massive impulse. So after an impulse, you expect a correction, and if you take that Fibonacci from that high over there from the low, we can definitely get another 61.8 confluence, which is giving us a further confluence that we can expect this market to continue higher. Then from there, I'll give you guys another update. Now let's go through some of the questions, and before we get there, don't forget, once we hit 10k subs, I will be dropping the rules of the strategy that I use. That means we need about 302, I don't know, 320 or 302 subs, so make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you do not miss out on that opportunity. Let's go through this very quickly. So right from the top, Les Long saying thank you. Rogue saying what you left out, this you're not, you are in on the scam. You pursue unrealistic financial outcomes yourself, and for what? Your greed. Yes, it takes two to tango, and most of these victims are nothing but complicit. You know, I do agree with what you're saying to an extent. When you do say that some people are very gullible, go out there and invest, or not just to invest. I'm not referring to investments. I'm talking, you know, I'm referring to people. You're referring to unrealistic outcomes. I'm not referring to that. What I was referring to is people, is mentors, and you know, people that makes you believe that they'll be able to give you the magic spoon to become a better trader, knowing that they themselves can't even trade, and they need to make videos to go and explain why they were called not to be traded. I mean, I'm not talking about FX guys. Any case, also Green saying, is it valid to sell and buy two separate pairs with the same base currency if the technical analysis lines up? No, it would not be viable to do that, because if you are wrong in the one, you're wrong in both. Remember, technical analysis is good, then it just gets you to a certain point. But if you're going to buy and sell two separate currencies, all right, if you are wrong on the one, you are wrong on the other one, which is always why I tell people don't do that. Like, you have to, trading is all about staying in the game for a long time. So you want to minimize your risk. You know, I've taken 5 trades to this month. You've probably taken You've probably taken more trades in a single month than I've taken this entire year. DJ Nathan, whilst watching this, I hit another TP. Well done. Much respect, Rolio. Self-learning. I believe the best option is trying to make some extra bucks from these markets. 100%. There's a lot of liquidity in the market. Oritile Kwegedi saying, coming in the business is too. I too have been scammed. I fell for lifetime signals. What it was a guy named Fundamental Purplord. I told you it's a buy. Yeah, no, this is super informative. You are welcome, Brandon Low. I Rolio, keep for the good work. Appreciate it. Thank you. And then Jamil I saying no, but he goes way. But he goes way is okay. Cool, guys. That is it from my side. Please make sure that you sub to the channel, and if you enjoy the video, please do consider hitting that like button, because the more you like the video, the more it gets recommended to other people. So I'm helping you, helping someone else at the end of the day as well. That is it from my side. Thank you for your time, and as always, cheers for ears.